I think you outlined 4 aspects of life beyond personality in your books, and one of them is fulfilling engagement with life.
Look at a baby. That's what they live. That's part of being. Personality is the point at which that starts shutting down, really. This didn't make me feel good, so I'm going to close to that. And the body has a certain reaction, and the psychology has a reaction, and we learn we don't want to go there. And you multiply that many, many times, and you end up with a personality that has a kind of shell around it, and part of its defensive structure is to keep those feelings away and not to go in the direction of them. So our society is built around supporting that. The group personality out there is built to celebrate busyness, always being busy, distracting yourself. Technology is just, as far as the personality is concerned, the development of technology has just been wonderful, because there's even more and more endless ways to distract yourself constantly. And it's taken to be normal. It's utterly normal to distract yourself constantly. Now, this is what I was talking about earlier, that from outside the personality, this is madness. But in the group personality and impersonality, it's just part of life. It's taken to be normal. So in the being, what is normal is fulfilling engagement with life. And that means we live our lives and we all have feelings. Things come up. Sometimes we can be sad. Fulfilling engagement with life means this being is feeling sad right now, and there's nothing in the system from a personality that will try and stop it. So that's natural. That's why it's called the natural state. The natural happens. So that's what I mean by fulfilling engagement with life. So beyond personality, one starts living one's life in that way, in a very different way. Our relationship to our life is different in that feelings become just like breathing, and then our relationship to them is very natural. You know, you mentioned the 4 kind of corners of the natural state, and one of them I would say is joy. And in this openness, now this is not to say that life can't have suffering in it, but there is in the background there's a kind of background sense of a sort of primal feeling of joy, which just comes from what I would call our original relationship to life, which is we're built to eat, we're built to breathe, we're built to communicate with others. And just by doing those things and fulfilling our humanity in that way, there's a kind of joy in it. We have desires, and the desires become our distractions. And that's very different from the kind of joy from just naturally engaging in life. A desire comes from personality, like I've got to have this, I've got to have that Ferrari, otherwise I'm not a proper man, or I'm not kind of showing how great I am or wealthy I am. That's a desire. That's a very different thing. So all that's part of the game and the play of personality. Yeah.
And then another aspect is choiceless awareness, isn't it?
It is. It is. Okay, so the way I talk about it is there is something I call personality awareness. And in a way, we've discussed that a bit, because you've explained and demonstrated how there are certain feelings that come up, and some part of you doesn't want to go there, right? So personality awareness will actually look away from those things. So it's an editing of your experience. Something's coming up, and something in you, the personality, says, I don't want to feel that. So it kind of blocks it out. So that's personality awareness. So by contrast, choiceless awareness is what we're talking about, where that editing doesn't happen anymore. So an example I just gave, if you're feeling something, you are not editing it out by repressing it. It is embraced as part of this moment, what needs to happen. So if you just imagine that across your life, you know, a phrase often used is, I think I said it to you recently, everything has to be seen. Meaning you're not, if you're looking away and repressing things, that's not a fulfilling engagement with life. So seeing everything is part of choiceless awareness. You're willing to look at whatever comes. So that's what I mean by choiceless awareness. There's no one choosing not to look at something anymore. You may have a preference. You may think, I don't really want to do it. I really want to look at that. But there's something else that says, well, I'm not going to not look at it because it's life happening to me now. That's how life has reached me in this moment. And I think what you've described, Marcus, is that happening. You know, you're having choiceless awareness on that situation of you sitting there and your mind and the personality saying, oh, call a friend, turn the TV on, and then you won't have to feel this. You're starting to make that setup conscious. That's choiceless awareness coming in. And that choiceless awareness undercuts that whole cycle and that activity of personality. So this is how it works, you see. This is how the personality gets undermined. So what we do in the group and in sessions is supporting that process. And it's almost like weaning you off the teat, as it were, of the group personality into another kind of realm of people who know that actually the personality is that everyone thinks they are and is the only way to live, isn't the only way to live. And if you dare to go beyond its orbit, its context, its arena, you will find a way of living that is very, very different. And you know, you've got to say it's more free, it's more joyous, and more feeling based and natural.